Well, Ottawa's announced a new high-frequency rail corridor between Quebec City and Toronto. Let's get some more details on the announcement, and when will you be able to go to Toronto at slightly faster speeds? Omar Alghabra is Federal Transport Minister, and he joins us now. Minister Alghabra, thank you so much for coming onto the program.
Good morning, Elias. Thank you for having me.
Okay, first question that I have is, and I saw the news, and the second word is the key here. It's high frequency, not high speed. I still remember going to Japan, going on their trains and going, oh my God, I want this in Canada. And this is not what we're getting here. So let's get to that first. Why was high frequency the right decision here? It's still going to cost $12 billion. So why go with high frequency instead of high speed?
Elias, thank you for that question, because I know many people are wondering what the difference is and why go with high frequency, as you just put it. Look, our government has been committed to building this corridor since 2016, and we have invested some time and expertise into studying the options before us, and we looked at high speed. And here was the conclusion, is that high speed was going to cost 3 times that much, and it may take two times the amount of time that it's going to take to build. And thirdly, and it's equally important, it was going to, if we wanted to connect the communities in between, like for example, we're going to stop at Trois-Rivières between Quebec City and Montreal. If we were to stop there, it would kind of, reduce the value of high speed, because by the time you reach high speed, you're slowing down again to stop. So because we're connecting important communities in between, and because of the difference of cost, difference of time and engineering that it's going to take, after all those considerations, we decided that it's the most suitable option for travelers is to build a high-frequency rail. And by the way, high-frequency rail is going to go up as fast as 200 kilometers an hour. So it's still pretty fast.
Okay, I'm on the Via Rail website right now. As you know, I love the train, and I've done the Montreal to Toronto many times. I really do like the fact that I can go downtown to downtown, no dealing with airport security and that kind of stuff. But I'm on Via Rail right now, and I'm looking at just an average day and the times to get between Montreal Central Station and Toronto Union Station. I think for our listeners, that would be the number one commute they would make. I'm looking at the times here: 5 hours, 28 minutes, 5 hours, 18 minutes, 5 hours, 10 minutes. Those are the shortest times. There are ones in the 7 and 8 hour time range as well. But let's compare, let's say 5 hours right now to go between Montreal and Toronto. How long will that same trip take under these new lines?
Great question. We expect that it will be around 4 hours. So you're saving any time between an hour and a half. And that's, by the way, assuming that the current predicted time that VIA offers is on time. Because what we are also seeing with the current route that we have, because VIA shares the train rails with other freight train companies, there have been interruptions and lack of reliability. Current reliability for VIA is close to 60%. Yeah. What we are proposing and planning on doing is building a dedicated track just for VIA. And that way, not only are we going to be able to increase the frequency, but also make sure that VIA trains have the right of passage, and they will be able to go without nonstop in between destinations.
We're with Omar Alghabra. He's Federal Transport Minister, talking about the new high-frequency rail corridor that's been announced. I'll be very honest with you, Mr. Alghabra. When you said 4 hours, my heart sunk just a little bit. I really wanted that time to be quicker. But let me try and get a positive out of this. Let's go to frequency. So if that second word is frequency, high frequency, well, just what does that mean? How many trips a day, like how many different options will customers, Canadians have on the frequency level? Will we have 20 trips between the cities instead of 5 or 6? Well, how will it increase on the frequency side?
Yeah, we predict that we're going to increase the capacity to tripling it from where it is right now. So and that we will see as well. But right now, our prediction is that we're going to triple the capacity and the frequency of the train between the two destinations, or actually more than just two destinations.
Do you have any data? It sounds like you've studied this. So you mentioned the first time this was bandied about 2016, right? So it's been 5 years. Do you have any indication that by taking the time from 5 hours 10 minutes, and I know there are delays often with the Via Rail. You mentioned how bad the rate is of on time trains for Via Rail. But let's say it goes now from 5:10, now it goes down to 4 hours. Do you have any indication about how much that will increase ridership?
Yeah, we project ridership could increase 4 times or so. There are more studies that need to be taken, but look, the passengers, a lot of passengers, obviously there are passengers who are flying, but there are a lot of passengers who are taking buses, who are driving. This is the ideal passenger for a high frequency rail. Right now, with the introduction of a more reliable, faster, safer transportation, we think a lot of passengers will be choosing rail. And not to mention, by the way, not to forget that the fact that it's going to be electric, so it's going to reduce pollution significantly from other modes of transportation.
I don't want to belabor the point, but I do need to ask you a little bit more on the fact that we're not going the high-speed route. You have mentioned, obviously, the cost issues, the time issues. But one thing I think that frustrates a lot of Canadians is we look at our fellow G7 nations, we look at what European countries have. I mentioned Japan before. And it seems like they're able to get over these hurdles. The cost issues aren't there. I mean, obviously cost is an issue, but they get over that hurdle. They get over the hurdle of timelines in Japan and other places. So what makes this, why can't Canada get over those hurdles to high-speed rail?
Elias, let me just say that actually this proposal compares very well to many European countries and trains that connect European cities. If we are, again, you're comparing to high-speed rails, and that would have, let's set aside the cost and the time, which is not a small matter. It's a significant matter. But if we do this, we would have to make a choice about, do we want to connect to Trois-Rivières? Do we want to connect to Peterborough? Do we want to connect to Ottawa? So this is also a nation-building exercise. This is a massive, the largest transport infrastructure project in decades that's going to connect communities, that's going to bring on economic development. So it is also a strategic choice. It's not just about the cost. It's about connecting communities, connecting businesses, and we think it's fast. We think it's reliable. It's going to be safe. It's going to be important for communities. So I hear your point, and I think maybe from just a traveler who wants to travel between Toronto and Montreal alone may prefer that, and not notwithstanding the cost. But I'm telling you, there are other communities that are important for us that we need to connect, that are important for Montreal, that are important for Toronto, that we need to be connected with.
One last question here. Just the date of the next federal election are you looking at September 13th, September 20th? What's the day right now for the next election?
Oh, I'm not, I know there's a lot of speculation about election. I am in this business for many years that I gave up on predicting an election. I'm focused on serving Canadian, on fulfilling my mandate. We had $500 million in the recent budget for high-frequency rail, and it's been my pleasure to announce it a lot throughout various Quebec cities during the last couple of days.
I was just trying to get you to slip up and spill the beans. It's okay. Omar Alghabra is Federal Transport Minister, and it is a pleasure to have the Transport Minister on our in-transit half hour here on the program. So come back real soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Elias. Thank you.